Hi everybody, it's Alisa Marie here in the Sweet Life Kitchen, and I'm going to share with you today my recipe for my lavender and lemon gardener's hand scrub. One of the things that's really sort of frustrating whenever you're in the garden is you're always dirty. It's always in the middle of your fingernails and your cuticles. It's always in the cracks of your feet, and no matter what you do, every single day it's a chore to try to get cleaned up. I'm amazed at how dirty I look at my fingernails and my feet, and I'm like, man, I was just out here in this garden working, and I look like a little tiny kiddo that spent the whole day playing out in the mud. And especially when we get a bunch of rain in Texas, then it really is a big mess because it's all goopy out there for a couple of days, and so it's really hard to stay clean. But I have come up with this recipe, and it really works well to keep your hands and your feet clean. I keep a little jar of it by the bathtub, and I scrub my feet with it before I get in the tub at night. And then I keep a jar over there by the sink in the kitchen so that when I'm coming in from picking vegetables and working in the garden and pruning and all of those things, I'm able to quickly scrub. I tend to get a little spot on my finger where I'm pinching the tomatoes, because for those of you that are watching the Sweet Life Garden episodes, you know that there's a lot of pinching and pruning and taping that has to be done for tomatoes. And so I always seem to wear like a little green mark right there on my index finger. So this has actually helped me kind of stay a little bit cleaner, even though everybody knows I'm gardening and I'm washing my hands, but still. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to gather your ingredients, and what you're going to need for my recipe is going to be 2 lemons. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. You're going to need a handful, and I'd say this is probably about 2 tablespoons as well, of some fresh lavender. If you don't like lavender or you don't want lavender, you could certainly go to the garden and grab some rosemary sprigs. My husband, Uncle B, does not like rosemary at all, and so even though I have some in the garden, it's there mostly as a repellent for other pests that are in the garden. I don't really have a lot of use for it in the actual cookings or in the recipes that I use here in the house, just because he just really does not like that at all. But you could use whatever you want to. If you've got rosebuds and you have rose oil, you could substitute this any way you want. But the main ingredients that you definitely need to have in it is olive oil, sugar, lemon juice. Okay, so anything else that you want to change up on this recipe, you certainly can do so with no problem. So what you want to do is you want to get a cup of, I'm going to make a small batch of this, a cup of sugar, a heaping cup of sugar, and put that in a bowl. And then you're going to want to get 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and that goes right into the sugar. And then after that, you just pretty much dump everything into the bowl. It's not like a big scientific experiment here, but you do want to make this in small batches. And then, the other thing you could do too is this is really good as a gift. In fact, my publisher, because we're featuring this actual recipe in one of the magazines that I write for, the very first thing she said when she found out I was going to be doing this recipe was, make me a batch too. So your friends will really like it. So what you want to do is you want to take your zester and you want to lay it on your bowl, and you want to zest your lemon over your sugar. And just, work around the edge of the lemon. Be sure you don't zest your fingers. But get as much as you can into your sugar mixture. If you get a little bit of the rind in there, that's not a problem either. You just want to get a lot of zest in there. That helps because it pulls away and actually works as an astringent on your skin. And at the same time that the lemon is doing that and brightening your skin, the olive oil is moisturizing it. So it's kind of a double-edged sword on this battle to stay clean, especially these days in the summer, because I'm out in the garden every single day, and it's a dirty job, let me tell you. Don't let anybody tell you that gardening is a clean job, because it's not. But so that's pretty good and zested on this one. And then I'm going to do the same thing with lemon number 2. And as you can see, there's a lot of zest in there. I'll show you in the bowl in just a second. But there's quite a bit of zest in there. Okay. Get that off of there and into our sugar. Okay, now the next thing I want you to do is I want you to take your 2 tablespoons of your lemon juice and pour that in there, and go ahead and take your, for me with this recipe, the lavender. buds and stick that in there. And then you're going to want to get an essential oil of whatever you want. I mean, you could use anything in the world. You could use eucalyptus, you could use rose, like I said earlier, you could use all kinds of stuff, but you want 20 drops. And so I'm going to take this up in this little dropper and count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good. Just about one little dropper full. All right, I'll put that back in there. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're just going to stir it up. It's not really that big of a deal. You stir it up, get everything mixed together. You see all those zest that's in there. There's a lot of zest. And just get it all mixed together. And so the recipe will be below in the description for this episode. But it would be easy, even though this is a small batch, it would be an easy thing for you to just double or triple or quadruple this recipe so that you could make a bunch of it if you were going to use this as gifts for your family for the holidays, or teacher gifts too. This makes a nice teacher gift. You do want to get a glass jar and, you know, have it where you've got a lid on it, and just keep it by the sink or by the bathtub. This is what it looks like when it's done. This is the consistency it is when it's finished. And then I just scoop it up and stick it in this jar. Or pour it, actually, because it's really easy to pour into the jar. And then you just scoop some out. And you could use it on your elbows. You could use it on like a prep before you did a pedicure. A lot of us are doing pedicures from home these days and not going out. So that's another option for this as well, but it smells really wonderful. I just love the combination of the lavender and the lemon. And I just happen to always have lavender oil because I use it for so many things. I'll make different recipes where I use the lavender and make bath salts and milk baths. I've got another episode that you'll find in the DIY where I've got my lavender milk bath. I do that a lot for my friends too. But you just put the lid on it just like that, and that's all it is. That's what it looks like. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you found some value in it. If you guys did, please do me a favor and like and share. And then don't forget to ring that bell so that every single time we're doing a little DIY or something in the garden or the kitchen, we're going to be able to notify you that we did that. We'll see you soon. Take care.